Hi, my name is Elisha Weatherton, and I am back again with another former teen mom that we are acknowledging in Women's History Month. So today, I have with me Jamie Hernandez. Jamie is a registered nurse, certified asthma educator, nationally certified nurse, school nurse, and has a bachelor's in the science of nursing. So you guys be patient with me as I go through all these credentials. At the age of 21, she began her nursing career, which is now going on 25 years, but began right out of high school, working as a medical secretary trainee while putting herself through nursing school. Remember, we're talking about a teen mom here. Jamie worked in pediatrics for 14 years, doing research for Texas Tech Health Scientist Center, where she was also published in the Telemedicine Journal in 2001. She was a clinical research coordinator in the General Clinic and coordinator and pulmonology nurse at the Cystic Fibrosis Center. She was a charge nurse in specialty clinics, and this was all in the pediatrics department of Texas Tech. For the past 10 years, Jamie has been working as a school nurse and shares a lot of her time with the teen mom students. And I met Jamie at one of the schools where I go to talk to our teen moms. So welcome, Jamie. Whoa, that was a mouthful. I was like, wait a minute, I got to take my time and go through this. I want to get it right and make sure that we give you credit and recognition for all that you accomplished. So with that being said, tell us your story as a teen mom.
Thank you, Alicia. And I'm so grateful that our students have had an opportunity to meet you, because the resource that you provide is something that I actually did not have while I was in high school. So I became a teenage mom at the age of 17. I was in my last year of high school and didn't really know what I was going to do. I had been in an office co-op program. And so in the office co-op program, I could go to school and work part-time, and I wasn't sure if they were going to allow me to stay in the program. Now that I, at that time was pregnant, and I saw there had a teacher who said, you have some potential here. And so she kept me in the program. She helped me to get an interview. And so I began working actually in the Department of Pediatrics as a student assistant, even before I was a medical secretary. So those doors opened up to be able to help me later in my career. But that senior year was tough. I worked 2 jobs and went to school, and then had my baby in October. So my little girl was born on a day where we had a 3-day weekend. We're off on a Monday.
Wow.
So I had her on the weekend, had the day off Monday, and went back to school Tuesday.
Oh,
so I had no idea, the help that could be offered even with when you have a baby, because I was trying to go through school, not losing any of the credits that I had already gained. And my friend said, now, what are you going to do? And I said, well, what are you going to ask her? What are you going to do? And she said, I think I'm going to go to nursing school after high school. And I said, well, now, does a nurse make more than a secretary so that I can take care of my baby? And she said,
I love it.
So that was kind of my thinking then. And I thought, well, I need to be able to take care of this baby once I have her. And so I ended up being able to do that through continuing with the program and staying in school to finish. So I ended up being able to graduate with honors still from high school, and gave myself, the summer off, but started immediately into college right after. And I'm so grateful that I did that.
Yes.
Because it didn't allow for time to delay and procrastinate with starting something. So I was able to do a junior college where I did my prerequisites, and then later got accepted into nursing school. But that time period was tough, when I first found out that I was pregnant and then trying to make a decision. Yeah, didn't really have a lot of support at the time with, a lot of many people said, you've ruined your life. You're not going to amount to anything now. And which was really disheartening, people gave me all these different options, like, well, you could do this and this and this. And it was a tough decision to decide. And at the time, I had no idea if my baby daddy was going to be around still. And, he was a young teenager as well. And we decided together, we wanted to go ahead and have our baby and try to do the best we can to take care of her. And so my daughter is now 29 and and has given me 2 beautiful grandbabies.
Yay!
I think back and, it was tough starting out, but I am so grateful that I stayed in school to be able to take care of her as we aged together, and doing a lot of what needed to be done with education was helpful to do while she was small. So by the time she started kindergarten, I was available. I could be there for her, and I could provide for her. And so I'm grateful that Levy's Pearls comes in and is able to provide resources for the students beyond just the high school years. There's more that you give them, that relationship of, that they're not the only ones going through a tough time in life, a tough season. And you help them to realize it is just a season that they can make it through. And so I wish I would have had someone like y'all, but I didn't. But I'm grateful now that the girls do have your support, and that there are, I love the topics that y'all have been able to bring in to talk with the girls. I know y'all are coming again soon to talk about healthy relationships. It's so important for them to see how they can continue to grow along with helping their babies grow. And I'm grateful that there's a place like Levy's Pearls.
Thank you so much for saying that. And what amazes me is like your story and stories of other teen moms where there wasn't a Levy's Pearls and there wasn't a whole lot of people supporting and helping, which just goes to show if you have self-determination, you can figure it out, you can be successful. And so, and it's okay, there's nothing wrong with needing support and needing encouragement. But I think even for people who get support and encouragement, it's still about your self-determination. And you were determined to be something, take care of your baby, despite all the stuff that the people were saying. And that's the main message that we want to get out to the girls, that, okay, this happened. And we're going to move on, and these are some of the I try to ask them, like, well, what do you like to do? Because even for me, I wish I would have gone with what I was passionate about or what I liked to do back when I was younger and had a career in that. Whereas I had jobs, that paid the bills and thank God for them. But now I'm working for free in a passion. And I'm like, wow, if I could have been doing this and making money all, these years, that would have been awesome. But nonetheless, I'm doing it now. So I try to talk to them like, what do you like to do? And so they'll say something and I'll say, well, that sounds like this kind of person and that kind of, career, whatever. And go and Google and find out what kind of classes you got to take or what schools you can go to become that, because it's so easy to get thrown off into working. I was talking with Ms. Bowden earlier about, once you start working full time, going to college and stuff is kind of, you're like, well, I'll take a class or two here. But, if you can get on that path and stick to it prior to, like you say, your kids getting, too old or being at the age where you can be available because you've already gone through school and now your career allows you to, be that good mom, and that is just amazing. Now, tell us about, you and your baby daddy, did y'all make
So,
it?
so we did. So we've been together 32 years now,
Awesome.
married for 24 years. So in August, we'll be celebrating 25 years of marriage. And so, yeah, we made it,
Congratulations.
but it took work.
Of course.
It
Of
took
course.
work, a teamwork. I think about like how every negative comment that was made, it was like I took that as fuel to help me prove them wrong.
Yep.
and so did my husband. We took everything that was said negative and we're going to prove them wrong. We don't want to be another statistic.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And so throughout the conversations that's been a recurring theme where we talked about statistics. So you had the baby at a as a teenager. So
Yeah.
that is a statistic. However, you don't have to keep going with them with not graduating high school, not graduating from college. Going on to get married for you with the same guy. Oh,
Yes.
perfect love story. How old was your daughter when she had her first baby?
My daughter was 20, so she had been married 5 years.
See, already.
And So
So
she was 25
Mhm.
and 26 by the time she birthed her. So she's
Yeah.
So my oldest grandbaby's 3.
Statistics say that your daughter would become a teen mom, right? Not graduate high school, be a juvenile delinquent. So it just goes to show that one, I don't know what you can call it, a mistake, you can call it a bump in the road, you can call it a detour, you can call it whatever you want that happened when you were a teenager. It didn't mean that you had to continue on that path that society says you would go on, and you worked hard not to. I mean, this was probably the slowest I read someone's stroke because I had to make sure I got it right and said all those terms and all those, just amazing. And I'm sure when the teen moms come talk to you at the school, I know that they get such encouragement from you. Unfortunately, you're only at the one school, but that has to also just be rewarding for you as well.
Oh, yes. I do exactly what you were talking about I asked them, what they're interested in. And I'll go through some of the junior colleges and print out some of the detailed information of what exactly they have to do to get into that career, because that was so helpful for me.
Yeah.
And if they can have something concrete, because your friends will tell you, oh, just work full time, you'll make more. And at that moment, it seems like it, but later that's not true.
Right.
And yes, it's so easy. I ended up working just part-time until I finished nursing school. So my first full-time job was when I became a nurse.
Wow.
And so, so that I could finish my education. And I think back, you mentioned, like, some might say mistake. I actually don't ever think back to that as a mistake. It was, situations in which decisions were made that, I didn't make the best choices in some time periods, but I don't ever think I'm grateful looking back. And I think, this is something I think about all the time. I'm like, whatever was created and made in a way that it could have, everyone would have said it would have destroyed me, did not, because, and I love the Lord. I'm like, it's hard for me to talk and not bring up what in my life, because I grew up in a very broken household too. So my parents had divorced and I saw a lot of brokenness.
Yes.
And so what was meant for my harm, the Lord used for good.
Yes.
And I'm getting to really reap the benefits now of seeing the choices that I made back then and how the fruit that it's produced now. And I am so grateful.
Yes. Yes. He is awesome in that way, because no matter what we do, he loves us regardless.
Oh, yes.
He blesses us regardless. And so he can take anything we do and turn it golden. He can take,
that's right,
whatever, even a bad decision, a bad choice, not even talking about the pregnancy, but anything that we do, he can take it and just just make it like, wow, really?
Yes, 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 yes.
And that's what he did in your life. And that's an amazing story, amazing testimony. I love
Yes,
it.
it's been so rewarding to see. And I tell you, that's what helped my husband and I to have a better foundation.
Hmm. Yeah.
And going forward, that's what I think helped us the most to be able to make it in all these years. And
Ooh,
now
don't
we
live
get to
that far.
celebrate and enjoy. It's so fun.
I
Years now, I know
know.
a lot of the girls right now that I talk with are so young, and I'm like, I'm your future though. If you'll stay in school, it
Exactly.
works. It works.
Yes, yes, exactly.
It's possible.
Hmm.
And just you have to. It's really the self-talk that we have to do up here,
Right.
because many times we create this like these grasshoppers up here that keep us from moving forward up here. And so sometimes and when something happens like that, I was this straight A student too, who it was shocking, like, oh, she's
yeah.
yeah. And so I had to really not let myself get to a point of feeling inadequate. And so it was lots of self-talk up here and determination that I can, anything that is said that I can't do, I had to take that and say, no, I can do anything that I put my mind to.
I love it. I love it. That is so awesome. I'm so glad that we have teen moms such as yourself. I try to always put in front of our girls. And literally God dropped into my spirit to do this for Women's History Month, to acknowledge former teen moms because of the successes that you've had. And that, the fruit of that labor and the children and what they're doing. And so it's been amazing. Some of your stories were beyond what I even knew that they were. And I'm just in amazement, like, you did all that with a baby. Like, I can't believe it.
Yes.
But it's a story, or it is stories for our girls to say, okay, I can do it too.
Yeah,
I can do it too. And that's, if there's no other message that we get across to our girls, it's that you can do it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I 7 years later had a second baby, and so I have a son who's 22 now.
Okay.
And so he's made it past those teenage years, and he's not a teenage dad.
Awesome. Good job, parents. Good job. And it's not even to say that, if you're a parent and your teen has a baby, that it's a bad job. It's just sometimes we work very hard to keep them from going through some of the hardships that we had to go through. And so, and that's all it is. It's like, you don't want to.
It's harder.
Right. It's just hard. It just makes your life harder. It's not impossible. You still can do anything that you put your mind to.
Yes.
You just made it a little harder because now you're not going to the parties. You're not doing some of the teen things. And then when you do go, it's, needing to find a babysitter and, having to hear someone say, whatever they're going to say, even though they keep baby, but they still, say it's just all this extra stuff. And the girls I was talking to today, about being more responsible and being mature and having those, grown-up conversations with their parents as they try to set boundaries to be the parent of the baby, but yet their parents are, hey, I'm your parent, you live in my house. Like, how do you navigate through that? And so this is not the same thing your friends are going through. And so you can't always talk to them because they don't understand. And I'd say more than half the time, the advice they give you is not going to be good advice. So we hope to actually bring the girls together even more often. The ones that go to different schools, don't know each other, bring them together and so they can talk and share those stories and those struggles that they're going through now, and with the internet and, oh my God, all this extra stuff, that they have to go through, so that they can encourage each other and share, some tips and advice or whatever. So, but thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your story. Thank you for being such an amazing woman.
Thank you.
Thank
you for all that you do. That's just a blessing that you're doing something that you're passionate about, and it's a blessing to so many of our girls. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that you took the time to even just talk with me and hear my
Yes.
story.
Absolutely. So we're going to sign off now. Thank you guys
Okay.
for tuning in, for watching as Jamie shared her story. And as we shine the spotlight on another former teen mom who has made history in her own way and in her own life, in her own children, her own family, and with her successes. And so in Women's History Month, that's our tribute for this year in 2023, is to spotlight our former teen moms. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Bye-bye. Da, 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 da.
Things don't always go according to plan, but believe me, I understand. Right here is where you take a chance. Empower your life. Empower your life. You were born to thrive. You were born to thrive. You don't have to face the world alone. When you need a safe space, you can't go wrong. Call in Love is Pearl. Love is Pearl. Call us when you need. Here at Love is Pearl. Love is Pearl. You're destined to succeed, and Love is Pearl. Love is Pearl. Da, 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 da. And Love is Pearl.